Tatiana is an artist and a Bitcoiner, and well, has been in the she made it to the first laBITconf, and she made a beautiful jingle about Bitcoin, and I think the words, I mean, your music will explain it better than me.
Great, thank you very much. Hi everybody, how's it going? My name's Tatiana Moroz. I'm a singer-songwriter from New Jersey, which is right outside New York for those of you who haven't been to the States. I have always loved music, and I was sitting around thinking, well, what am I going to talk about today? Because I think that art and Bitcoin have a really important place together. So I started to think about when I was little, and my mom, she would drive around when we would go skiing, and she would play lots of music for me. And I remember listening to Cat Stevens and listening to his song Peace Train and being so moved by the song and thinking of the power of music to convey an idea. As time went on, I became very concerned with the world that we live in today and trying to come up with some sort of solution for basically better organizing people. Then when I went off to school, I went to school up in Boston, and as I was leaving for school, Britney Spears became popular. And I was really, really depressed. And I basically tuned out of all music because I thought, well, this is trash, and I don't really have an emotional connection to it. After school, you know, I started working in different recording studios in New York, and what I found very frustrating was that a lot of artists couldn't get into the studio, and the only artists that were getting record deals were artists who were 14 and dressing like streetwalkers. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but probably something wrong with that at 14. And I knew that music had a really big impact on my life, and I believed that it would do the same for the future as well. I got involved with Ron Paul. I was a libertarian and was very active for the Ron Paul campaign, singing around the country with thousands of people coming. And then after I saw what happened in Tampa and how the Republican Party was breaking its own rules in order to keep his voice out of the discussion, I realized that politics was not the answer. At the same time, Tony Galippi and Stephen Pear from BitPay, they had sponsored me at one of my shows, and they basically were trying to convince me to like Bitcoin. And let me assure you, I had no interest whatsoever. It was about 3 hours of them trying to pump me up on it, and I was like, I don't understand, just take a couple dollars from me, leave me alone, give me some Bitcoins. But as time went on, obviously the price went up, so I became more interested. And I went to the cryptocurrency convention on Jeffrey Tucker's prompting in Atlanta, and that's when I noticed something that I hadn't noticed in a long time. It was hope. And I hadn't seen it, and I wanted more of it. And even though I didn't understand what everybody was talking about, I did know that there was something really special going on. And I also knew that it didn't require me to stand outside in the freezing icy cold holding a picket sign and begging for permission. I decided that, well, you know, it's kind of hard to understand this idea, and what I do best is music. So I decided to write a jingle, and I debuted it at the first ever Latin American Bitcoin conference in Buenos Aires, which is I'm particularly excited to be with you guys here today because I think of that as my coming out into Bitcoin. Thank you. It was an incredible experience, and it continues to be a wild ride since then. But at some point, I started talking with Adam Levine from Let's Talk Bitcoin, and we started to talk about how artists could benefit from cryptocurrency. Now, there are many things that you could do as an artist. You know, there's ways of registering your work on the blockchain. There's ways of getting tips. But I think that the essential problem is I need money, I need fans, right? And the problem with the current systems with social media are basically, for example, I used to have MySpace, and I had my fans on MySpace, but then MySpace became out of fashion. So then I went over to Facebook. And in Facebook, you know, I spent a certain amount of money to advertise. I got, you know, some likes. People were like interested in hearing from me, but now they can't hear from me because I have to pay Facebook lots of money every month in order to boost my post. And I noticed a pattern developing that I'm basically creating something of value for somebody else. And the artist needs to not be dependent on other people, in my opinion. Because today, even though there are many, many people around the world that are very anti-war, you will not hear any songs about this. Once in a blue moon, you'll hear something that hints at the dissatisfaction that we, humanity, have with the perpetual war state. So what we did was we created Tatiana Coin, which is the first ever artist cryptocurrency. We built it on Counterparty. And what it allows for me to do is to have creative, ongoing fundraising with my fans, and it allows me to connect to them directly. I don't need somebody else in the middle of the relationship. They can buy coins from me that funds my projects, and then they can use those coins at any time, and they can even give them to their friends. They could sell them. They could do whatever they want with them, but it gives them a flexibility with what kind of prize they get. So, you know, if you've heard all my albums and bought them all, which of course all of you have, you know, you can still hold on to those coins and you can use them for my third album. My third album, which I'm going to be putting out in the new year, was actually funded completely on crypto and through Tatiana Coin. So I think that's pretty cool. So why is that important? Well, when I was in the studio, I harassed my musicians to accept Bitcoin so I could pay them, and I got the studio to sign up and accept Bitcoin. And the thing is that now I'm allowed to. I'm sorry, I thought I saw a time thing. So, you know, now, since I have video of this content, I can put it out to people, and instead of telling them, well, the blockchain will allow you to secure your funds, and, you know, I mean, stuff I can't even fake the scientific talk, I can show them, and I can give them a reason to care. And artists have a relationship with their fans. Their fans love them, and their fans trust them. You can't, I think that love that you have between music and the listener as the creator is a really, really powerful tool. And I don't want somebody else telling me what I can sing about. But I also don't want to be poor forever. So I think that artist coins can provide a solution for that. Right now, if you go to my site, you can click on the store, and because of Tokenly, which is what Adam created to help solve problems for me and other people like me, you can just buy my music with Bitcoin, with US dollars, or with Tatiana Coin. And if you use Tatiana Coin, you obviously get a discount. There's some sort of, you know, exclusive prizes, and it allows me to be very creative. And also, it will provide token-controlled access, which is kind of on the next couple of weeks we'll be having that, where if you have a certain threshold of Tatiana Coin, you can see, you know, personal photos from my wonderful trip to Mexico City, and different kinds of things like that. So I guess that's my experience with art and Bitcoin, and I want you all to remember that most of you have day jobs, and you're not allowed to say things like, end the Fed, or, you know, end the wars or stuff. But artists can, and people really give us a lot of credit and a lot of faith. I believe that artists are the gateway drug to cryptocurrencies. And on that note, I guess I'll play you guys a song, hopefully lure you in. This is the Bitcoin jingle. We good? You guys hear me and everything? All right, good. I didn't want to give any of my money to a nation based on war. I wanted to be free, nothing holding me back from where I want to go. I thought about it, what was the choice that I made? It was to take away the money, don't give up your money, use Bitcoin whenever you pay. Use Bitcoin whenever you pay. I didn't want to waste any of my time working for the government. I wanted to be kind, open up my mind just like an instrument. I thought about it, what was the choice that I made? It was to take away the money, don't give up your money, use Bitcoin whenever you pay. Use Bitcoin whenever you pay. Ooh, no longer a slave. I don't have to work until the grave. So many times I cried to myself that we didn't have a chance. Nakamoto came along with more than a song, gave the labor back to man. I thought about it, what was the choice that I made? It was to take away the money, don't give up your money, use Bitcoin whenever you pay. Use Bitcoin whenever you pay. Use Bitcoin whenever you pay. Really, guys. Thank you very much, everybody. I really appreciate it. If you want to support my album, you want to get your Tatiana coin, try it out, please go to tatianamoroz.com. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with you. It's really special. Thanks.